Hello, everybody. Welcome to Yoga for Self-Love with Kim. I am Kim. This will be a short, gentle practice. Bring yourself to your mat, and we'll begin our practice in child's pose today, if that feels okay for you. As always, if not, please find something that works for you. So comfortable seat will do just fine if child's pose just doesn't feel right for you today. So you can take your knees wide or bring the knees together. You're sitting back on the heels. So again, your choice, knees wide or knees together. Bum settling back on to the heels. If it's a little too intense on the knees, you could tuck a blanket in between the calves and the thighs. Or again, you could find just a comfortable seat that works. Begin to fold forward. You can rest your forehead down onto the mat or stack your arms on top of each other and make a little pillow. Rest your forehead on your arms. You could tuck a block or a blanket underneath the forehead. Just settling in here, taking a few nice deep breaths. Drawing the breath in through the nose, all the way down through the spine, down into the pelvis. Filling up the whole body, the abdomen, the torso, front of the lungs, back of the lungs. Finding every nook and cranny with that breath. And then releasing the breath back out through the nose. Allowing yourself to let go of everything else, whatever was going on before you arrived on your mat, whatever will be coming next. Let yourself just be here, present with yourself, body, mind, breath, and spirit. A few more nice deep breaths here. And taking a moment to check in, connect in with yourself. Notice how you feel today, letting go of any judgment. And as always, I invite you to bring in the intention to be gentle, kind, patient, loving, and compassionate with yourself. You are doing awesome, doing the best you can. Give yourself some credit, some love, some attention. Allow the shoulders to relax here. The heaviness, the feet, the legs, the hips, and the pelvis. Rooting down towards the mat. And begin to call yourself back. Slowly press the hands down into the mat. Walk yourself back up to sit up on your heels. If the knees are wide, you can bring the legs back in together and come back to sit on your heels for a moment. Then we'll take the hands forward. Tuck your toes under behind you. Hug the heels in towards each other, and we'll bring it into broken toe pose. You may want to reach back, just check on that little pinky toe. Sometimes it gets a little stuck or forgotten. Let's give it a little help here. Untuck it. Bring it to the mat with all the other toes. And then you can either stay here, this could be enough, it can get really intense really quickly, or you can walk yourself in, walk the hands in, maybe even walk the hands up onto the thighs. Keep the heels hugging in towards each other. Take a breath or two here. And then we'll take the hands down to the mat, untuck the toes, tops of the feet come back down to the mat. You bring yourself back to sit on the heels again. And let's do it again. Hands will come forward. You'll tuck the toes under behind you, just that little pinky toe if you need to. Either stay right there with hands down on the mat, walk the hands in a little bit, maybe even walk hands up onto the thighs. Heels hug in towards each other. Nice, deep, smooth, steady breath. And then release your hands down to the mat, untuck the toes, and let's take it into a table. Knees about hip width, underneath the hips, wrists underneath the shoulders, and then just a few gentle rocks from side to side. Then bring yourself to center, root down into the hands. We'll begin to extend that right leg back behind you, hip level-ish. Keeping it here, or you could root down into the right fingers and reach forward with that left arm. Or release the left hand down to the mat, drop the ball of that right foot down to the mat now. Press into the hands and out through that back heel. A few nice deep breaths here. Breathing into the back of that right leg. And then release. Right knee down to the mat. We'll extend the left leg back. Holding here or rooting into the left finger pads and reaching forward with that right arm. And then release that right hand down. Drop ball of that left foot down to the mat. Press into the hands and out through that back heel. And then release that left knee down to the mat. Let's send that right leg back again, hip level-ish. And then we'll bend the right knee, draw it underneath the body, press into your hands, round up through your back, and then step or carry this right foot up to that right thumb. Press down into that right foot, down into that left knee, foot, shin. Begin to lift up through pelvic floor, hug in through the legs, take hands to that front thigh, press into the thigh, and reach up through the crown of your head. And then we'll take hands down to the mat, step that right foot back, coming back into your table. Other side, extend left leg back. We'll bend that left knee, draw it in towards nose, chest, forehead as you round up through the back. Step or carry left foot up to that left thumb. Press down into your feet, hug in through the thighs. Lift yourself up, take hands to that front thigh. Press into the thigh, down through the legs, up and out through the crown of your head. And then we'll release hands back down to the mat. Take it back into your table. And now we'll tuck toes under again. Begin to walk yourself back. This time we'll roll up onto the balls of the feet. And begin to lift the knees up. And now either keep your fingers down on the mat and walk the hands in a little bit here. Stay just like this. Or if it's available to you, you could bring the palms together, finding a little balance here. Yogi toe pose. And then we'll take fingers down to the mat, release your heels down to the mat, and begin to send your hips up. Keep the knees soft. For a moment, lift your belly up off of your thighs, lengthen out through the crown of your head, and then we'll hinge from the hips, folding it in, forward fold, belly to the thighs. Release your head. You can take hands down to the mat or grab elbows. Shake, nod your head. Maybe rock your hips side to side. And then we'll take hands to the hips, press down into the feet, Lift your heart and come all the way up to stand. Rooting down through the feet, take the arms out to the sides, palms facing forward. We'll take it into Tadasana, mountain pose. For a moment, lift and spread the toes. Root down through the ball under that big toe, ball under that little toe, center of your heel. Feel the legs begin to activate, turn on, the inner legs engage, and then relax the toes down. And then bring your palms together at your heart. Now we'll step the right foot back about a foot or so. Come up onto the ball of that right foot. Press down through both feet. Left foot, ball of that right foot. And then step the right foot back. We'll step that left foot back a foot or so. Come up onto the ball of that foot. Press down into the feet. And then step that left foot back. Release your hands down. We'll bend the knees. Sit back in our chair pose. Bum back, hips back, arms reach forward. Take the weight back into the heels. Lift up the toes for a moment and then release toes back down. Press into your feet. Come all the way up. Palms together overhead. And then hands come back down to your heart. Let's take it into our chair pose again. Bend the knees, sit the hips back, arms reach forward. Now keep it here, just like this. Or you can roll up onto the balls of the feet, bring a little balance into this. And then release heels down to the mat, weight into the heels. Press into your feet, rise all the way up, palms together overhead, hands slide back down to your heart. One more time, we'll take it into our chair, release the hands, bend the knees, bum back, arms reach forward. Holding here, or again, roll up onto balls of feet. Release heels down to the mat. Press into the feet, rise up. Palms together overhead and hands come back down to your heart. And now we'll step to center of your mat facing the long edge. Take your feet wide. Soften the knees and we'll turn the right toes up towards the end of the mat. Both knees bent. Rock yourself back and forth or side to side here. And then we'll open into warrior two. Bend that right knee. Knee tracking over the ankle. Begin to straighten that left leg. Root down into the pinky toe side of that left foot. Feel that left inner arch begin to lift. Hug in through the legs. Lift up through your belly. Lengthen up through the spine. Up through the crown. Reach arms out to the side. Warrior two. Release your arms down. Begin to straighten that right leg. Now turn that right foot in. Take it over to the other side, soften knees, turn left toes towards other end of your mat and rock yourself side to side. Then we'll open it into our warrior two. Bend left knee, pressing that knee over towards pinky toe side of that foot so that knee's not splaying inward. Open your arms. And then release the arms down, straighten that left leg, turn that foot in, soften the knees. Let's take it back to the other side again. Right toes turn towards the other end of your mat. You rock yourself side to side and then open it into your warrior two, bending that right knee, straightening left leg, arms open, shoulders lined up over the hips. Holding here or begin to roll up onto ball of right foot. So that right heel lifts up off of the mat and then release right heel down to the mat. Release arms down, straighten right leg, turn that foot in, soften knees over to the other side. Left toes turn towards other end of the mat. You rock yourself side to side and then open it into your warrior two. Arms reach wide. Left knee tracking over ankle. Holding here or roll up onto ball of left foot. And then release that left heel down to the mat. Release the arms down, straighten that left leg, turn that foot in. Now we'll soften the knees, turn the toes out, turn the heels in, lower yourself down. Knees bent, knees and toes moving in the same direction. Hands to top of the thighs, and then rock yourself side to side. Bring yourself to center, sit it down just a little bit lower. And then press into the feet, lift yourself up. We'll turn the feet in parallel. Let's take palms together at the heart. Pausing here, connecting back to your breath. And let's do it again. Turn the toes out, turn the heels in, bend your knees, lower yourself down, hands to the thighs, rock yourself side to side. Then bring it to center, sit it down just a little bit lower, heart lifted, back of the skull lifted. And then hold here, or you could begin to lift up your heels. Keeping heart lifted, head lifted. And then release heels down to the mat. Sit it a little deeper and then press into the feet. Lift it up. Turn your feet back in parallel-ish. Let's take palms together. And then step or hop your feet back together. Come to the back of the mat. Let's take it into our chair one more time. Sit it back, hips back. Arms sweep forward. And then press into the feet. Bring it back up. Palms together at the heart. Soften the knees. Pull the hips back. We'll fold it in. Forward fold. Release your hands down to the mat. Bigger little bend in the knees here. Shake out the head. Rock the hips. Bring it to center. Fingers down to the mat. Now we'll roll up onto balls of the feet as we slowly lower, bum down, coming back into our yogi toe pose. And you can, again, keep the hands down on the mat or walk yourself hands in and take hands together at the heart. And then hands come down to the mat. Lower the knees back down. Untuck toes. Tops of the feet pressing down into the mat. Come back to sit on your heels. And then hands come forward again. Let's tuck the toes under. Bring yourself back to sit up on the heels again. Broken toe pose. You can keep hands down on the mat, or again, you walk the hands up the thighs, heels hugging in. Hands back down to the mat, untuck toes, come back to sit on your heels. And then one more time, hands come forward, tuck the toes under behind you, hug the feet together, walk the hands back, maybe up onto the thighs. And then hands come back down to the mat, untuck the toes, come back to sit on your heels, and then drop over to one hip. Swing your legs around and bring yourself into a comfortable seat. We'll take palms together at the heart. May you feel safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you live with ease. May your heart be open to love, compassion, and may you know joy. Thank you so much for sharing this practice with me today. With love and gratitude, namaste.